My name is Adrian Webb. The goal for my film and research project is to find out whether mixed martial arts positively impacts the lives of prior service Marines. I'm looking to see if mixed martial arts aids prior service Marines in their transition from active duty back into civilian life by incorporating their hypermasculine temperament, instead of trying to rehabilitate it. As a prior service Marine myself, I can say that for some, leaving the Marine Corps is harder than going in. So, I sat down with the Marines who train at Subfighter MMA in Orange County to ask them how mixed martial arts impacted their transition and their own hypermasculine identity. I asked them why they keep fighting.
Deciding to be a Marine and then deciding to actively pursue fighting, that's not something that's taught. I mean, it's the kind of person that it is. You're drawn towards that kind of life. You're not in a room full of crowd of people. You make that decision by yourself. You're just not happy with your life, and it's, this is calling me. The Marine Corps is calling me. Fighting is calling me. Getting in a cage and fighting another man. There's no other species on this earth that does that for recreation.
So I did the Marine Corps in Puerto Rico, and I was just having too much fun. Got in trouble. Didn't really like school. Doing drugs, drinking a lot, the usual stuff when you're young. Always extreme. I was always been extreme. So I thought I wanted to be a gangster. So you get in trouble. Got in trouble with the police. Got shot one time. And then, you know what? I was like, one day, I think I crashed into something. And my dad came in the morning, hey, you crashed the car. And I sat in my bed like, dude, I gotta do something, I gotta get out of here. This is too much fun. So that day I decided to join the military. Since I was little, I always thought about, I wanna be in the military. I either wanted to be a sniper or fly helicopters. So it was already kinda in me. I just needed a little push to get out of the partying. So what I did is, I went to the Marine Corps office, and then they're like, you drink, you fight, we want you.
I guess you can say I felt that I needed to get out of where I was at, and I saw the Marine Corps as a way to do that. But I really saw, not just that, like the honor. I felt that I could excel and I deserved that honor of being a Marine.
It's more for you. You don't really do it entirely for country. You do it at first for country, and then after a while you joined for everybody you're with. And free college. In reality, I think I come from a broken home, just like everyone in your platoon does. It's like you join a gang, right? And for me, I was a sniper, and it's pretty cool, man. Like, that's what I miss. I miss just being around just solid dudes from like broken homes, and you all just understand each other. I'm not the broken record, not the broken veteran. Nobody understands me, boo-hoo, poor me. Like, dude, I'm doing good things with my life. I've got a good job. I got my degree. I'm always trying to better myself. But, I just miss being around a bunch of dark, morbid individuals and them understanding me and me not having the filter to censor myself. We just live in this day and age where we are not, allowed to exercise being a man. You can't be like, I'm a manly man, because people judge you for it. And it's true, it's a real thing. I just feel like the culture we live in is trying to, not allow us to be that aggressive individual that, your 4-year-old boy really wants to be. There's a reason he gets mad at his brother and fucking punches him. It's instinct.
But yeah, when you're in, a hand-to-hand combat situation or, competitive situation and inside the gym, yeah, it's such a healthy way to exhibit that side of your personality and who you are. Marines and Army, Navy, just military in general, once you get out, you don't have a lot of vets don't have that option to exercise that. If you want to label that masculinity, I guess for sure there's a lot of masculine traits, and that's fine. That's something that you need to have to pursue both of those careers, in my opinion.
Testosterone, I call it. And then you're being aggressive, being violent. Kind of like the Marine Corps. You need to be violent. And in the MMA gyms, you have to be, it pays if you're more violent. It's actually a thing that they say in the Marine Corps, your violence of action. So your actions have to be violent, and then in order to you overcome your enemy. It's the exact same thing in the gym. You're trying to be more violent. Maybe yes, you need technique and everything, but at the end of the day, you need that violence. And that kind of comes with the testosterone. It's kind of like the masculine side of things, you know. It is specifically good for Marines because we already got that mentality, a fighting mentality. Then once we get out, see a lot of people struggle. Just the Marine Corps, it is hard. You see, it is hard on your body. Maybe it's stressful. Maybe you gotta keep pushing. But on the other side, the Marine Corps babysits you. If you need a place, they'll find you a place. You will not starve. You don't have to pay many bills. So once they get out and they find out that life, it won't babysit them.
When I got out of the Marine Corps, I was looking for like a family, and I just clicked with these people. We're all sort of just conjoined together just by one single hobby. It's kind of cool. It's an interest, but we're all sort of connected. We all hang out. We're there for each other. And that's where that whole Marine aspect comes from. So you sort of look for that camaraderie, and I find that camaraderie here at the gym.
It's a challenge too. So you'd be proud of it. It's like Marine Corps. You join the Marine Corps, you're proud. I joined the Marine Corps. I didn't join the Navy or the Air Force or the Army. You're like, it's a little bit. So maybe you go work out at 24-hour fitness. It's cool, but it's not training MMA. You can take pride in that.
It's you can still be who you are. It's just in a different manner and in a way more humble manner. And for sure, fighting is toned me down, right? But you start on the same path that you start in the Marine Corps. The difference is you get your shit pushed in the Marine Corps. You just don't get your ass kicked a lot.
You're constantly evaluating yourself. You're learning. Some days you're good, some days you're bad, ups and downs. And it's very similar just like the challenge, because that's what sort of being a Marine is about. That's what the recruiters sort of tell you. They bring out their little tags. What do you want? Adventure, travel, benefits, pride, honor. And it's like the challenge that's really drove me. I always like a challenge. I like being in the moment. I like being the underdog. I like being down and out and coming back. That feeling is unimaginable.
So it's a driver. Once you got a driver in the Marine Corps, they drive you, they tell you what to do. You know where to go, you gotta go. Once you go, you leave and you don't have that, maybe the driver goes somewhere. The gym, you have to be there. If you're not there, it's just not gonna happen. So once you start finding your rhythm and you wanna be there, that becomes the driver. And I think if you want to have a driver, I think if you neutral out or you stall out, you kind of start becoming unhappy. So the good thing about the gym is once you start getting that rhythm, you start getting good, it becomes addictive. And once it becomes addictive, that starts driving you. You got something to look forward to.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being a Marine and then finding a gym like this. That would be one of the main driving reasons why I'm looking to train. It's a release. It's like, yeah, it's about hitting things and stuff like that, but it's more or less a release of like endorphins when you get done. It's like any other hard workout, and it's once you're doing it for a while, sometimes you when you initially start doing it, it's a fight to you. And that's that's normal for a lot of people. They think you're fighting, but once you get past that, that's like the first level of training. Once you get past that, and you can actually see it as like, it's a workout. And what you're doing, it's technique, and you're learning like realistic situations. But I can treat it as a workout where it's not a fight to me. I'm not operating at 100% chaos. Where that's exhausting to train with somebody like that. It's not about me. It's about me trying to get better, not me trying to be better than you.
I was a crazy guy in the Marine Corps. I was a guy that would go out and then get in these fights. Or I just always had a crazy story. I'd show up on Monday and people would say, "What did you do this weekend? Did you get in trouble?" "No, I did not." "Cool. Tell me what happened." The people typically in charge of me, I'd show up with like a black eye or whatever, right? It was crazy. Anyway, those days are over. Again, because of fighting, when you get beat up enough times, you get really humble and you're like, hey, maybe I should not be such an asshole in general in life. And I feel like a lot of people need that.
Mixed martial arts especially jiu-jitsu. I've heard so many service members say it's helped them from just reintegrating. It's a culture shock. So when you're used to something, people don't like change. No one likes change. When you have a routine and something breaks your routine and you weren't prepared for that, people usually get frustrated, angry, and they go down a dark path sometimes. So with that, when you have mixed martial arts in the mix, it's kind of a way to keep a balance from that reintegration, that clash of cultures, because you're basically, being a service member, being a Marine is like a different kind of culture. It's a culture, it's a warrior culture. So when you shift away from that, when you're just a regular average Joe, a lot of people have identity crisis. They don't know what to do. So mixed martial arts gives them like a path.
Learned a lot of hard lessons. I've lost my fair share of fights and trying my jiu-jitsu and trial and error. And I regret none of it, dude. I've had the most phenomenal, amazing journey. It's been awesome.
Do former Marines or current Marines, do they have the ability to exercise their masculinity and their masculine traits inside the gym, inside the MMA gym? Yes, for sure. It doesn't necessarily have to be everything that they're about. I feel like one of the main benefits of training, especially MMA and jiu-jitsu and in these kind of gyms, is like you realize it's not all about you. You know, it's about the people that you're in the room with. Very much like the military. It's not really, a lot of us love the military because it's not necessarily the things that you did, but it was the people that you're there with. You know, you're forced to go through certain situations with a lot of people that you don't originally know, and then you become a unit over time. You know, all that trial and error it just builds unit cohesion. It's the same thing. If I get out of the military and I'm feeling isolated, you know, and I have those feelings, when you start to train in a gym like this, you realize it's not all about you. You can lose that, because when I come to practice, it's maybe about making my teammate better, making this teammate better, and making myself better in the process. For sure, in MMA, you have to be able to adjust to multiple situations. Inside of a 5-minute round, inside of a 3-minute round, I'm continually adjusting. That's what MMA is. So I feel like exiting the Marine Corps and, you know, assimilating back to civilian life is the same thing. You know, it doesn't mean I have to lose my, you know, all my Marine traits and attitude and everything like that. I can actually excel when I make the transition, but it's kind of up to you. You're called to be a Marine. You know, there's a definite, first of all, there's a definite need for the Marines in our country and for the mission that they provide to the military. Is that a bad thing that people they grow up and they feel the need to fill that billet? I don't think it's a bad thing at all. So when they get out, you want to rehabilitate that out of them. I think it's so much healthier to let them redirect that energy in another direction.
It's very different because we're brought up with this warrior ethos, this warrior class. It's sort of embedded in you, and it just kind of happens sometimes by accident. Sometimes it's not even meant to be done. It just happens, that way of lifestyle. And as mixed martial arts, it's a good transition, especially jiu-jitsu. You've heard that saying, if I had $1 every time. I've heard this. I've ran into so many Marines saying jiu-jitsu saved their lives because they were depressed, such and such. You know, they went to substance abuse, things like that. And mixed martial arts was like a path to get them right on track, to get them straightened out, because it's just like this intricate. I can't even call it a hobby. It is an art. Like, they call it mixed martial arts. It's an art. And when you get fully enveloped in it, it just changes your life. You kind of become like obsessed with it.
After this project, there's one conclusion that I can come to. Fighting for these Marines means being in a brotherhood of violence. It gives them a sense of belonging, a sense of pride, and a challenge that improves their life. Hoorah, Marines, and Semper Fidelis.